Welcome to another episode of the Choose Your Soul Show. We are your hosts. My name's Hakeem.
My name is Alyssa.
And we are passionate about providing resources and perspective to help you choose yourself and strengthen your soul. Now, today's episode is for the soul that's been everywhere. You tried the church, the charts, the crystals, the conferences, but you feel like you're orbiting around a version of yourself you haven't fully met. Because let's be real. You can know your sun, your moon, your rising, your Saturn, your mama, but if you never return to the parts of yourself you buried to be accepted, that astrology is just a costume for your coping mechanisms, along with religion, along with your race, along with your ancestral trauma, your culture, and genetics, okay? If you're outsourcing your self-worth to someone else's doctrine or something external without confronting your inner conditioning, then you are not in alignment, my friend. You in a costume, and they don't call me Halloween Hakeem. Not today, buddy. So our guest today came to rip off the mask like Future. She's an author, speaker, coach, strategist, clinic owner, transformational wellness, architect of the highest level. She doesn't just coach your habits. She speaks to your heart. She helps people stop chasing identity and start choosing integrity. She teaches you how to feel your body as a messenger, not a malfunction. She's not here to fix you. She's here to remind you that you were never broken, just buried under patterns, projections, and pressure to be palatable. So if you've ever been spiritually curious, but emotionally unavailable with yourself, if your life looks aligned on paper, but feels heavy in your chest, this episode is your mirror, your message, and your medicine. Please welcome to the Choose Your Soul Show, the mind-heart reconnection specialist, Kasia Sitarz from the Stizzars. How you feeling?
Hakeem, that was probably the best intro I have ever had. And mirroring exactly where I'm at in my life right now. I love it. Even the Kasia, just for the record, for everybody on the podcast listening, my name's actually Kasia or Katarzyna in Polish.
Ooh,
I like that one
that
better.
is fancy.
There's a little fierceness there.
Katarzyna.
I'm so good. How are you guys doing?
We're
That
so
every
good.
day.
We're so excited. I'm super excited about this conversation because we haven't really met before this. And so all these topics, everything that, all these credentials, wow, look at you. So can you tell us a little bit about how you, what started your journey and how did you end up where you are now? If you can, in like 5 minutes. I know that's not a lot.
This question, and you guys can stop me. I love to talk. I love talking, and I'm also learning to listen and be in the silence. And so we'll dive into all of that. I feel like I have lived so many lives. Like me sitting in this chair right now, I feel like I was just saying this to a friend. I'm like, where do I start with who I am and what I do? At a very young age, I was an athlete. I grew up as an athlete, European parents. And, you know, with like European parents, there comes some tough love, that's for sure. And yeah, they really like embrace athletics in me. And so I started off working out, like loving that, like the whole gym vibe. I competed as a pro fitness athlete. I opened up my own clinic. So I'm a health and wellness ambassador and a clinic owner. And then from there, I'm going to try to keep this short. I opened up a gym, a True Mentality gym, which was all about mindset. And that's where I coached athletes on the mental side of life. It wasn't just about training in the gym. It was, you know, what are we going to do? How can we take what we learn inside the gym and apply it to life? And so I started to kind of go down the journey of mental health. And from there, I learned so many of my own lessons. I feel like God graced me with so many lessons of injuries, of heartbreak, of grief, where I started to dive into something called heart coherence, which is emotional regulation and tapping into the wisdom of our heart. So, you know, growing up, I loved studying the brain. I loved it. Like we have a fully functional clinic here. We've got practitioners that, you know, it's all science-based. But what I found was there was something missing. And that's where heart coherence, you know, stepped into my life, where I was fortunate enough to take a lot of pauses. I was actually kind of forced into the pause to learn more about myself. And so, yeah, I've written for magazines across Canada, US. I've done ambassador work. I've worked with different fitness companies, different supplement companies, different businesses. And so I feel like I've lived so many lives, It's amazing. I'm 38.
If you don't choose yourself, life gonna force you to. Either way,
100%.
Some people do it in the dark days. Some people do it from isolation. Some people end up getting a health scare or addition of a new life or a transition. They lose a business. They lose a limb. Something gonna make you think, oh, snap, I'm in control. I can't blame and complain. I got to choose myself. And it sounds like you went through that as well.
Yeah, there's been so many different transformations. And what I love is that, your intro was like, yeah, you can do the crystals and the astrology. And I did all of that. It's like I was seeking so much outside of me. And yeah, life happened, concussions, ruptured Achilles. Like I said, grief. I lost one of my best friends, and she's the reason why I teach what I teach now. She would often say, she's like, Kasia, your fitness is amazing. All of that is great. Like the training facility I had was changing lives. But what was happening was I wasn't choosing myself. And so I was burnt out. Like I had anxiety. There was moments where I barely could change myself at night because my nervous system was so ramped up. And she's like, all of that is great, but what the world needs is more heart-led businesses, more heart-led people. And that's what I started to incorporate, was this heart-led living. And I was afraid of it. Like I was so afraid of it. I mean, as a kid, I was always drawing hearts everywhere. So I knew, like innately, I knew there was something to it. But you get burned.
I was drawing dicks. Ain't lie. I was that little kid drawing dicks on a whiteboard with a permanent marker on the whiteboard so she couldn't erase it underneath the drawing.
Amazing. So while you were drawing dicks, I was drawing hearts. Amazing. Hey.
Well, you turned out to be heart coherence, and I'm kind of a dickhead. So here we are.
Hey, you know what though? There's some people that don't like me, I'm sure. And that's because I've learned boundaries, and I've learned to be stern and firm in who I am and what I want to see in my life. And that requires this like solid foundation. And without all of the stuff, without all the past traumas and all of that, I don't think I would be here. That's for sure. Yeah.
I love the conversation around heart coherence and nervous system regulation, because I don't think I started learning about this stuff. I'm 35. So until 3 years ago, and I read Joe Dispenza, and he has a whole chapter in his book about brain heart coherence. I'm like, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense, because your heart has like so many, it's like one of your brains, 3 brains or whatever. And I'm like, why don't they teach us about this when we're younger? What does it mean to have a coherent heart for our listeners that might not know about this?
Yeah. And by the way, Dr. Joe Dispenza is incredible. I did a week-long intensive
Lucky
with him. So like I dove into a 4-hour meditation. And when they talk about quantum leaping and that there is no time, it's true. And, for the listeners, anybody who's like just dabbling into meditation or heart coherence, which I'll explain in a second, if I can do it, like I was the full-on type A. I had to move my body constantly because I was running for myself. I didn't want to face what was going on inside. And so I was just running. And if I can do it, if I can sit down and just start with just the breath, like the breath and pausing for a moment and getting really intentional, I honestly believe anybody can. And so I did do Joe Dispenza. And so for me, what heart coherence means is, first of all, the heart holds so much wisdom. And we think that the brain is really powerful, but the heart is actually more powerful than the brain. The heart sends signals to the brain than the brain to the rest of the body. And so if we can learn to regulate our heart, and this is science-based stuff, like I actually hook up my clients and I check their heart rate variabilities through a tool from HeartMath Institute. And we check if they're working in coherence or out of coherence. And what out of coherence can look like is their heart rate variabilities are all over the place. And so that indicates really high levels of anxiety, or if it's just like nothing's happening, depression. And that really comes from depleting emotions. And that can creep up on us. So it's not that it's like negative emotions. It's literally you're depleting your body. And so that's when you kind of come out of alignment, when you're not coherent. And so I started this work because, again, like what Hakeem said, it's like life will show you. If you're not listening, the body is constantly whispering. And, ooh, that rhymed.
It's in my book.
Is it? Amazing.
Yeah, that line right there.
Really? Yeah. Like then you will be forced up against the wall. And this is why I love what I teach now. It's like I see layers to people. God's gifted me with this incredible intuition that I had to like slow down to feel and listen and get into my heart space so I can hear the whispers also from spirit, from God, to be able to help people along their journey. But ultimately we can't, it's like choosing yourself. We can't do the work for other people. So, I was gifted these pauses in my life where, God, I had some really dark days. Like I remember 4 years ago having such a dark day. And I was like, I just ended a relationship. I was spiraling. I was out of control. And I just remember being like, this is really heavy. And I remember God saying like, it's time to shift. It's time to pivot. And that wasn't like easy work. And that's the thing. It's facing the pain of what's happening inside of us is not easy work. It takes a level of commitment, the same commitment that you choose, when you're working out or choosing to change your health habits. There's a dedication and a devotion to it because you know that there's something more, right? So
And
I don't know if I answered your question there,
yeah,
but
yeah, you did. And really, now no one's gonna choosing yourself is doing the work for others. Let's not get that confused, y'all. When you invest in yourself, you're building the starting blocks for people to start choosing themselves. So seeking to change others, that's gonna leave you frustrated. Now, seeking to change yourself, you're already taking the first steps into changing other people. And you was talking about, exercise being important to heart coherence or challenging yourself. Athletics literally shows you that at a young age. You tap into a different level of adrenaline, you zone out, you hit the flow state, you go into a certain level of I'm committed to practice, time, discipline for an end goal, the championship. All these things are similar to life. And you
yeah,
start to develop these things. And that's why people say you have an athletic mindset. Once you get it, you have it and you're able to do it. And it's a lot easier. And I think, all people should tap into competition to some extent, a team sport. But when you talk about depleting emotions, we all got damn emotions like the clouds.
totally.
And you ask for rain, you ask for flowers, now you're mad at the rain. Depleting emotions, how long does it last? That's how you deplete yourself. When you feel it, if you hold on to it, excitement or a negative feeling, too long, you're depleting. You can feel it, let that shit go. Get over it, get after it. It's
100%.
self-compassion.
I love, there's so many pieces I love there. Athleticism, I was just saying it. This is how everything's working right now, total alignment. I was just saying this morning how, I was out on a trail yesterday, mountain biking. I'm not a mountain biker. And I don't know if you guys have ever done that. There's a tree, don't hit the trees, right? Like
Hit the
you
tree.
have to be so hit the tree. If you think you're going to hit the tree, you're going to hit the tree. Here's the thing is like, it's such a good lesson of staying really present in the moment and seeing like just slightly what's ahead, not too far ahead because you can get lost, but just slightly ahead. And I remember there was a moment where I got so tired, and out there you can notice that you're tired, but are you going to hold on to that? It's like, oh man, I'm really tired with life. I'm tired with whatever, right? That's how I see it. But out there, I was like, I had to switch my mindset in that moment of like, Cash, this is where injury happens. This is where misalignment happens. This is where incoherence happens. So bring it back to your breath, bring it back to like, talk to yourself, right? And even it's very scriptural of like, what you say, you become. And so right away, I was like, okay, I noticed this because we can't pretend like it's not there. It's like depleting emotion, and emotion can't be metabolized by the body. We have to feel it. We have to see it and recognize it. And so it's like, okay, it's there. And now how do I get to shift that? And that's literally just choosing the words, the thoughts, what we're putting into our heart space. And so out there on the mountain bike, I was like, okay, girl, this is the last stretch. Like dig deep. And this is like athletics of grit with grace. It's like, you gotta dig deep, grit, and then give yourself some grace. It's okay to be tired, but you're going to complete this, right? Because or else there's going to be injury. There's going to be a tree in your face.
I was just talking about, slow choosing yourself is doing the work for other people. But regardless of when that moment comes to focus on what's in front of you, did you do the work? You ain't going to be able to focus if you never learn how to ride a bike. You can't mountain bike for shit. First, you got to learn how to ride the bike. Then you got to learn how to focus. Then you got to condition your cardio and your mind, body, heart. Then you can go out there and push through fatigue. But if you never prepare for life, if you don't prepare for adversity, high levels of stress, high levels of high heart rates, high frequencies, high impact, high sensory input, then you can't even go outside because you got anxiety because you don't train for it. You don't prepare for it. And if you don't sharpen your knives before you cook, you're going to lose a finger.
Totally. It's like kind of that saying of like failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And it's not that failing is a bad thing. Like we can come back even stronger from that. But what's the impact on that? Like what's the impact on our body, on our mind, on our spirit, on our friendships, on our environment around us? Like, can we lessen the impact that could be hard on us versus the impact that could be actually something that's such a blessing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love this. You guys are amazing.
Yeah. And then staying in coherence too. I love the combination of the physical and then the heart space and the mental. I've been, speaking of going back to Joe Dispenza just really quick, I've been doing 2 of his meditations a day I'm on day 5. So I did a 35-minute meditation this morning. And normally I would maybe meditate for 30 minutes max a day. So I've been doing an hour for the last 5 days. I'm like, this makes a huge difference, especially as I'm moving on through a lot of stuff personally in my personal life, going back to feeling the feelings, letting them come up, but being coherent in your heart space and your mental keeps everything so regulated. And we're talking about nervous system regulation. So you can actually go about your day without breaking down or getting affected by things and having you snap because your emotions are out of place. Like, it's so important to make sure and getting into the meditation is what is helping me so much right now. And I know everyone thinks about it like, I don't have time or I don't know how to do that. But it's like, you just have to find something that will guide you into understanding that and really feel into your heart space to let the emotions come up and out, because otherwise you're going to carry them and snap at the people around you, or they're going to come out in a way that you don't really want them to.
Yeah. I often say, like, if you don't actually feel it, it can turn into disorder, dis-ease in your body. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that, right? It's like, what is disease? Let's break it down. It's dis-ease in your body. And when we don't listen to those whispers, or, you know, and here's the thing is, like, it could be generational patterns that are literally like stuck in the body, right? That doesn't mean you use that as an excuse. I really believe in like recognizing that. And then it's like, okay, again, what are you going to choose to do with it? And so I could use my past as, and we all can, as like, oh, but this happened to me and this happened and this happened. So this show up. I totally. And it's like, okay. Or you can say, how do I want to show up? So, you know, I saw a lot of instability in my family, but I knew in my heart what stability and healthy look like. And so instead I used that as fuel. I was like, I don't want this in my life. I want this in my life. So what do I need to do to get there? But I want to touch up on something too, that generational patterns, it's very real. You know, and if we can start to approach things with a little bit more compassion and forgiveness and love, it's like, for me, it was like a weight was lifted off of me, because I could see people in my life in a different light. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Polish. So it's like, let's take this all the way back to the wartime, right? Where it was like survival. And so I've been able to look at certain people in my life with compassion now, hold strong boundaries of like, this is what I'm not going to tolerate in my life. Because if I do tolerate it, I can't show up in service. I can't be the light because I'm drained. I'm depleted. You know what I mean? So it's really like recognizing that there's some deep layers there. When Hakeem, you had said something really beautiful too. It's like, don't stay there though. And I find in the spiritual world, let's just call it the spiritual world, I'm around it a lot. I find that they want to go really, really deep and then just like stay in there. And
not doing shit.
No, 100%. I will tell you, when I went to therapy, I learned a lot of cool things. But when I worked with a coach, because every coach needs a coach, I swear, and I believe, or like little reminders, right? And it was very much like, okay, there's your past, but what are you choosing now? And changing the script. Like, let's put truth to what's actually going on and then change that script. Like, what do you actually want your life to look like? And then fill that in. Like, it's like a mind map. It's like, here's where you want your life to go. Now, what do you need to do to get there? And don't look back, right? That's like a trail and what do they say? Like the wake of a boat. That's in the past. It's like, what do you want to look forward to? Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's the importance of having a vision and actually knowing what you want. Because a lot of people don't even have an idea of where they're going. So then they stay stuck in the cycles and looking at the past and basing their future actions on the past that they experienced. They just have the same thing over and over. So it's like, what do you want? Decide what you want. That's number one. Like, what do you want to create? And then focus on that and how to get there.
Yeah. And if there's blocks in that, because fear can come up, right? Like, people get stuck.
If you don't know, if you're going and you don't take action, it's over. Now, if you make a plan, the plan doesn't come to fruition without action. If you take action, you can create a plan from the failure. So action is a requirement, regardless. You can have a map, but if you don't go nowhere, you ain't going nowhere. If you don't have a map and you go this way and it's the wrong way, you can turn. Either way, time gonna pass. So if you don't know what you're doing, start with the simple shit. Your foundation: sleep, reflection, research, exercise, nutrition. And then start writing some shit down if you want to. And here's another thing, what I realized in all these freaking experiences is, like, women don't want to do the discipline action, get masculine. They want to sit and be flowful. Fine, but you have to be disciplined to get to the flow state. You have to make time to meditate for 30 minutes and sit there in silence and get in your flow. You got to get the discipline to get out your bed in time to get up before your kids. You need the action first so you can get into the flow. Fine, flow all you want. Shit, I don't give a damn, but you can pray all you want, but ain't nobody coming to church to feed your ass or pay your bills.
That's true.
I love this. I love it. I love your energy. I love both of your energy. And it's so true. I'm a little bit in my like softness right now, but if you guys saw me in my boot camp days, totally, it was all about action. And you can't just flow. And I see that again in the spiritual world. It's like, oh, but I just want to be in my feminine.
Me too. Yeah. Like,
Trust
no.
me.
And the people that say you can be in your flow all the time is like, you didn't see them hustling their ass off for years on end. They don't show that part.
100%.
They don't show you how they got to the flow.
Here's a
You ain't
perfect
gonna get
example.
you ain't gonna get no masculine man that you want just sitting there flowing all damn day.
You will not. Well, they will come to me. No, but here's a perfect example too. Like my business has changed so much. I was operating a lot in my masculine. I was in the hustle and the doing and the actions and all of that. But what was missing was that little bit of the feminine energy as well. And here's the thing is I have seen people come in here, practitioners who have come in here, they're like, oh, Kasia, we're just different. Like you're very structured and I'm just flowy. I'm like, yeah, because I run a business. And if I don't have structure, if I don't have systems, I still have to pay the government. I still have to do these things. So like, I can't sit back and just have people, I could doing it for me, but I really don't see that to be successful. I love the balance and there's a time and place. If I was in the forest with those trees and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to flow. Biker behind me is going to hit me for sure. And the tree in front of me is going to smack me in the face.
For
Hamburger.
real.
For real.
Now you're gonna be in hospital because you're trying to flow, and all your kids got to leave wherever they are to come see your selfish flowy ass because you ain't want to pay attention. But my thing is, what I've started noticing when I moved to New York, I was straight up booked and busy. Couldn't even sleep. I was so excited, sleeping for 3 hours. I wake up, create some shit, write some shit. That's when I started waking up at 3 because I was so excited and filled by the masculine energy of New York. You go to Hawaii, ain't none of that. You sit and go luau, sit on the beach. Now I work 28 days straight. This has been my schedule for the last 14 months, 28 days straight, on the weekends included, and then I go on vacation for 4 days. That's my feminine. I go on the beach, I put my toes in the sand, I talk to other people, I talk to bartenders, I talk to people of the culture, and I explore, and I become new, and I become present, and I don't worry about work. I'm not posting much. I'm in my flow state. But then by day 4, I'm like, get me back to structure. This is too flowy. I don't like this shit. I don't even know where I'm going. When's my flight? Get me home. Now I want to go to sleep and get back home. But I think everybody has a different balance. And that understanding of the ability to shift your balance to where it should be comes from embracing the shit you ran from. Because I was never going to be able to say, oh, I can take a break because I didn't deal with the fact I had to prove my uncle, my dad right. Once I released that shame and that guilt, then I allowed myself to take a break.
Yeah.
Your balance and your polarities, your masculine, non-masculine, feminine, non-feminine, divine, immature, healing, whatever the hell. It comes from your damn story to understand what you need moving forward, for sure.
You just nailed it. Like it comes from your story because Hakeem, I'm seeing you in this place right now and observing you. If I could share, I'm just going to share.
Yeah,
Thanks
come on with it.
for the permission. I can see the layers that, you have, and I don't know your story until I have you on my podcast. And, I'd be curious to know because I see a man on a mission and I see a man of service, but that I know that didn't just come. I know that comes from experience and dealing with some really deep things, I'm sure. And so right now it's like 28 days because you were on like a mission. And I will say, when you work through these layers, it's like for me right now, things come a lot quicker. And it's like I can tap in to God so much quicker and I can hear God so much quicker. And then I respond with obedience a lot quicker because I know what it feels like if I don't. I know what it feels like if I'm like, oh, I'm just going to ignore that because I've ignored it 15 times. And now I'm like, you get to a point where it's like, I don't want to ignore this anymore. And I don't know if it's a part of maturity or if it's just truthfully like a humbling of life. When you watch somebody die, all they want to do is be here and live. Changes can change your perspective. Now I'm like, when people are like, why you climb the mountain and you have so much energy and all of that, it's like, because I get to. And that's the coolest part. It's like, it's not that I have to, it's like, I literally get to. And so even when I'm teaching, clients, it's whether they're overweight or they're struggling with food, I really try to tap into the devotion of the exercise, the devotion of fueling your body. What would it look like to be at your best self? What would it feel like? How can you be even more of service? Because here's the thing, when people are not operating in a healthy way, you could be the best business person in the world, but I want to see other parts of your life, because I can almost guarantee you are struggling. And no amount of money is going to get you anywhere, because at the end of the day, or at the end of your life, it's like, are you really happy? And I've seen this so many times. That's why my coaching is like this all around approach. You want to drop 100 pounds? Sure, we can do that. No problem. But will I see you next year with 150 pounds back on? Because we haven't had that all around approach, you know?
Hey, man, you can go get all the surgeries you want, but if you don't change the habits, you're going right back for another surgery, another pill. And that's what's going on. And when I say I found a way in my days of work now, 28 days, where, yeah, I could stay out late. And then, like, if my meetings don't start till 9, I could stay out till midnight and wake up in time to go at 9, but I have to fill up my cup. So I go to sleep at 8 to wake up at 3 a.m. This is what I decide to do on my free time. No Netflix, no sports games, no video games. I'm going to sleep to wake up. That's my free time. That's my flow state. That's when I meditate. That's when I read. That's when I stretch. That's when I clean. That's when I eat. Then I do content. So I find a balance. Now, that's why I say how you treat other people and how you're going to act in longevity and long term under pressure, under excitement, love, under outside your comfort zone is going to be the character you develop for yourself when you're by yourself. If you're sloppy, binging, hitting the snooze button, staying up late, letting people sleep in your house when you know you got to be up early, you'd rather go to a game. Now, you can find a balance in that, yeah. But every single night, you're just doing it repetitively. Then when we get into a stressful situation as a couple, as a brother, as a business, guess what? You're going to go back into those traits that you did when you keep neglecting yourself. And I can see it showing in your physique.
Yeah.
So if you got overweight, I know the traits are showing. Now, if you're Black, if I judge a Black person, it comes from conditioning. If I judge a freaking person who's wearing a hijab, or if I judge somebody who likes to pray to the stars, if I judge a tree hugger, that comes from conditioning. If I judge your physique, that comes from your choices. It's showing right now. It's showing right now. You ain't fooling nobody. And I hope you're on your journey. Then we can talk about it. But if you're like, I just don't like exercise, we probably can't talk no more.
There's some goodness in that. I am like experiencing this whole thing in my life right now about judgment. And so often I felt judged. And even though I was the fitness model and the cover model and all of these things, I felt judged because I was judging myself. I wasn't happy inside, but now I'm going through this whole thing. Like you said it, it's like how are we judging other people? And I could feel that in my life right now. Like God is showing me, it's like, Kasia, he's bringing in all of these different types of people. It's like even Hakeem, like when you sent me a voice note, I was like, I don't understand half the things that you just said. And I'm like, and I love it because I can feel it. I understand a little bit,
Hell no.
but that's not my lingo, right? And it's like,
sure.
I know. I am such a truth. Like I just go right to the truth, right?
No, yeah, I be talking slang sometimes, for real, especially when I get excited or I get lit.
Yeah, but I love it. It's like I'm curious. Like I want to know more now. Versus before, I would have been like, I don't know, and I would just back off. Now there's a curiosity to me of like, oh, where is that coming from? What do you mean? Like, how do I talk like that, right? And trust me, you do become a product of your environment. So if I hung out with you, I would start talking like that. I want to add one more thing to that because that's I know that's a little side note there. You had said, the people that you surround yourself with right now, actually for a while, it's like, I don't want to know how you are when you're succeeding. It's like, if you are going to be sitting at my table or we're going to sit at the table together, I want to know how you are when shit hits the fan, when there are challenges and there's struggles, right? Because anybody could be like, oh, this is amazing. I'm high on life. Like life is so good. But it's like, okay, what happens? But when you have to really deal with the death, right? Like, how are you going to show up? And, we're not perfect. We're humans. So no one's going to show up perfectly, but it's just like, where's the love and compassion in those spaces?
So then don't you have to be able to have a form of healthy judgment to know if somebody has the capabilities for you to access your time, energy, and resources? You can call it analyzing, evaluating, judgment, but you have to have a certain boundary to say, okay, you can come be around my family. Okay, you can come handle my money. Okay, you need this course. Okay, you don't want to pay the $100. That means you're not ready. So I'm going to not keep trying to convince you. So there's certain actions that people take where you then respond a certain way to conserve yourself. And that is just what it is. That's how you perceive the world. Yeah, I don't like that food. I like that. That color's ugly. This dress don't look good. That person got some dirty ass nails. Why is their breath smell from over here? You constantly are doing these things. And so like, if you know yourself, then it's I think it's protective. It's more protective than it is, whatever, judgmental. I mean, they're both judgmental, but I think you better judge somebody. Shit. Judge yourself.
Yeah. The word I kept hearing, discernment, come in. It's like just being discerning and knowing your values. Like what are your values in life? And for me, it's like health is important to me, moving my body, all of these pieces, like the vessel that God gave me, like taking care of that as best as I can. And so I'm really learning how to discern what I want around me. So it's like, okay, the judgment, it's like, oh, I don't love that. I don't like how you're operating in that space. I'm over here. And maybe as I do my thing over here, I'm going to shine more light. That's the hope of more service. And then eventually, who knows, maybe that person will be like, oh, I want what she has. And that's what's showing up. It's like my heart was, even though I have this beautiful big heart, it was so closed. And when people would hug me, I'd be like, ugh. Right. And now I'm like, my heart is really open, but there's discernment. The other day, some guy was like, hey, he said something, I don't know. He came into my space and I was like, whoa. And I was so like proud of myself for doing that, to say, no, you don't get to enter into my space. The energy even here doesn't feel right. Whereas like other people, now I'm like, oh, come here, I'm just gonna squeeze you.
Not in New York. Don't do that. Don't do that in New York. You gonna end up
Listen,
in
I'm
the
from a
box
little
somewhere.
small town, okay?
Having this conversation, and the word discernment didn't come up for me too after we were talking earlier, Keem, because I'm like, I'm not judging people. However they're living their life has nothing to do with me, and it doesn't affect me. But if they're going to come into my life and we're going to have some
Unless
sort
it's
of
the president.
No, I don't. What? I don't judge the president. I mean, I don't like anyone that's running for office.
Exactly. Judgment.
But I don't know. It's like if whatever someone's doing has nothing to do with my life. Like I can show them how to live and what I'm doing, and if they can do it if they want to. But ultimately, I'm not going to be like side eye them, and I don't even notice their existence really, to be honest. If they're not aligned with me, I'm like, okay. Like looking at someone that's immensely overweight, I think it comes down to self-awareness. Like, do you know how you are? Do you know that you need to work on this? If yes, then okay, let's keep it moving. But otherwise, I'm just like, you stay over there, I'll stay over here.
Isn't that a form of judgment to see if they align? You have to evaluate and be like, oh, you don't align? Turn. You align? Come here. That's judgment evaluating a filter that you've established from your beliefs. And whether they do or not, I'm going to pay attention or I'm not. You had to evaluate something to make that decision, is all I'm saying. And that's what we do in the power of choice. Am I going to engage or not? Am I going to stick in my emotions or not? Am I going to do what I said or not? Am I going to say hi or not? Am I going to let them hug me or not? These are all things we do that the immediate response comes from what we do repetitively over and over. And then after that, we can either choose our future intention or some shift we made or something our coach told us or something we learned online. But the initial one usually comes from a deep-rooted belief that we can't even hold back.
Hey. Yeah, amen to that. And Alyssa,
I'm just like, the word judgment seems like
I know
you're being
conditioning
immediately negative. Like I'm not negatively judging someone ever.
Nobody said nothing about negativity.
Negativity.
This is good.
That's
good.
But
discernment and judgment are like two different feelings. I feel.
You know the work I do, right? This is amazing. I don't know if we do this right on the podcast or after the podcast. I can't wait. Let's dive into this even more.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Listen, I would love to say one thing on that. You said like what they do doesn't affect you. If we look at the world though as a whole and all of us connected, and there is more than just us. And so we are still connected in ways. And that doesn't mean like, abusive people or whatever, you don't want them in your life. Yeah, you hold that discernment and that boundary, but you continue to do your light, your work, because again, we don't know. We don't know the way that God moves. We think those people will never change or something. When people are like, oh, they will never change. If I shared with you the way my relationship is with my father now, it's beautiful. Boundaries, but I see him in a different light. And it's because I stayed here while I go, you live your life, do the thing that you're doing, but I know that we're all connected. Will I, maybe die one day and there's people out there that are still doing the shitty things that aren't in alignment with me? Yes.
Balance.
Right? but it's like we're actually so much more connected. And there's a word that I'm trying to think of here, but anyways, we're all connected. And so it's important to continue to like stay in your lane, do the work, but know that I'm telling you, 2 years down the road, somebody can come into your life and be like, I was watching you. I was watching you. I just wasn't ready. You know, it's like training a muscle.
That's the thing too. I can show up and do what I can and show people how to do things, and they can come or not.
And
It's
we
not my
talk
choice.
about one person transforming, changing 750,000 lives that we don't even know. That's something that we talk about on our retreat. It's also the same on the negative. Negative people impact the toughness of the difficulty of us ascending. So yes, everybody is included. But how do you think we got to this obesity from too much love, compassion, and fucking take a day off and, oh, it's okay, I'm not going to judge you. Me, I'm going to tickle your ass. You guys are getting fat. I don't care. If I tell my parents that, if I tell my boys that, I'm telling these random people at McDonald's. And I'm also going to judge your ass because you know why they're pushing McDonald's? Because most of us eat that shit. If you stop eating it, kids don't have to choose from McNuggets. Okay,
You wouldn't even
we're
be at
literally
McDonald's to tell them.
we're literally showing them what to sell us by eating poisons, and it starts with the people who are got their choices shown in their physique. Bottom line,
I
ask
agree.
them, ask the big dog.
I agree. There's that. It's like that. There's tough love. It's like, but it's not tough. It's just real. It's just freaking real, you know, because if somebody's like, oh, it's okay. Like, do you really love them? Because here's the thing. What I want in my life, the love from my friends is hold me to a freaking standard, a true standard of love. When I'm fucking doing something, sorry, I don't usually swear on a podcast. And I also quit swear. I quit swearing for like 3 years.
We swear.
Welcome. See, y'all who you hang around.
So I know, right? I've been swearing a lot because I'm golfing. I don't know. Like, there's a judgment. There's a judgment right there. There is a judgment. Okay. I'm gonna go get a golf outfit after this. I'm golfing. No. The people, yeah, I know, right? The people that I want in my life, it's don't just freaking praise me when I'm like good and all that. Tell me, like hold me to a freaking real standard of love. When you see me slacking, tell me I'm out of integrity, because if you know me, that's out of integrity, because I believe my body is like freaking wisdom, right? And I got to take care of that. In my mind, my heart, all of it, the physical, all of it. You know, God gave us all of it. So that's love to me. It's not just holding my hand. Don't hold my hand. Like, don't hold my hand. Come in time to time to say, hey, I'm still in your corner, but like you're not living in your integrity or your truth. That's the standard of love.
And the thing is, like, for people who, like, you got like Goggins, Andrew Tate, you got Andy Elliott. These people got the same mindset. I'm doing this every day, leading y'all, showing y'all. If you can't even set standards for yourself, you can't be on this war zone with me and Goggins. You can't be on my Salesforce with Andy Elliott. You can't be on my island, because you become a liability. And I learned this because when George Floyd almost died, I mean, he's fucking dead, y'all. In case y'all didn't know. When George Floyd was killed, okay, I lived a mile away and my contacts ripped and I lost my contacts and my glasses broke and then I couldn't see. I was negative 575. And I'm on the phone with my dad and I'm like, man, what are we going to do? There's about to be war. He's like, my white neighbors are getting all these guns. I'm like, okay, we got to get a bunker. Like, let's get some food. Like, this is really war, drones, tanks. It was Minneapolis, freaking war zone. And he's like, what you going to do? I'm like, well, I was going to say I could hold a gun. I could be, you know, a marksman, but I couldn't see. Now I can't even protect my family because I can't see. I can't go hunting. I can't protect the fort. I can't go forge wood because I have to take so much time to make sure the thing is what it is. And we ain't got time for that. So are you ready? Or do you have the traits in place? If you are overweight and shit hits the fan today, I can't wait for you to start losing weight in a day and then be ready to freaking buckle down and do what you need to do. So
start now.
You know, so that's where I came from, man. Are you a liability or an asset right now? Because there's so many liabilities you can have on a team full of strong assets. There's only so many self-neglectors you can have on a team of self-choosers. There's only so many people who are in the dark when you get around people with the light before the dark pulls all the light down or the light pulls the dark up. And I ain't going to be one allowing people to stay in the dark with compassion and love and, oh my God, you got something going on at home. Oh my God, I'm not going to be that one. Y'all can do that. I'm not doing that. You better get the fuck over it and choose yourself. And we'll balance it out like that.
No apocalypse skills. You cannot cross the bridge.
Yeah. So good. So good.
I feel it.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah. No, it's amazing. And it's, because what comes to mind there, Hakeem, is like, get over it. But that kind of like triggered me a little bit because I'm like, oh, growing up, it was always like, just get your ass up, like keep going, keep moving forward. And I love so much of what my parents taught me. I didn't have cartoons on a Saturday morning. It was get your butt
Yeah.
up. We have chores. We got to get out. We got to do things. Let me tell you, like, and so I got a job at 14 because I'm like, I might as well get paid for this. As soon as I could get a job, I'm like, I'm out of the house. I'm not cleaning the house on Saturdays anymore. I'm going to go get paid for this. Then I look around, like I'm sitting in my clinic right now and I'm like, my parents helped me with my clinic, but then they were like, here's the hammer, here's like, you tear down those walls. You're going to be here every single day because this is your work. Right. And if I didn't have that foundation of that, like love of, hey, we came from nothing and we're here in Canada and we're building up. We didn't even have English as our language. So you're on this journey with us and we're going to teach you. The part where I was a little bit triggered is like, there is still a balance. And you said balance. There's a balance where it's like, yeah, I mean, if it's survival, you have to have those disciplines in place, right? 100%. And though there's moments where it's like, hey, let's pause for a second. Where is this coming from? Right? Because if you're constantly like, nope, just get over it. Nope, and I know you're not saying that, but that's what it evoked in me. It was like,
Like
Kinda.
maybe,
get over
I
it.
think he
Just
is.
get over it. Just get over it. Then I'm like, trauma. And then it's like this onion building these layers of like, shit, like I'm not processing any of.
Don't get over it by burying it. Get over it by being aware and processing it, like we talked about in the beginning. And getting over it, the longer it takes you to get over it, the longer you suffer. So you're hurting yourself. So compassion starts by getting over it, is what I mean. Getting over it is the best form of compassion because the longer it sits, the longer you suffer because that person gone. You crying and complaining that your little brother died, that your best friend died, that your boyfriend cheated on you, and you're going to sit there. You're not getting over it. You're suffering. The quicker you get over it and process it, the faster you embrace gratitude and purpose. And that's what I mean. I don't know how you get over it. Some people got to go in nature. Some people got to cry. Some people got to do therapy. Some people got to eat a whole tub of ice cream. I don't care how you get over it. Just find a way to get over it as fast as you can.
We need coaches like you in this world because that's the truth. That is the truth. And I see these coaches that make so much money because it's like this year long programs, right? But it's like, what are you doing with the people? Like you're letting them sit in this then, right? And what I hear from you as a coach, it's very much recognize it and then, hey, you got one life. Like, what are you choosing today, next moment, the next moment, the next moment, right? So I love that. I do like.
What do you think about people? What do you think about people who have like buried whatever trauma for years and years and years? How fast should they get over it?
Well, that's a good question. Every single person is different. I will tell you, when I brought God back into my life, no self-help book could help. Like it was like God just like intervened. And this is the thing. It's like I could say I can't even put a time on that because yeah, like God interjected in a lot of ways in my life and it was like fast. And then because I stayed disciplined in that, like constantly seeking, God and like the whispers of that and starting to listen to my body, now it's faster. Now to like Hakeem, it's like, yeah, I recognize it. Then it's like move through it. And then it catalyzes, I guess that's the right word, so quickly, like
Systems.
so quickly. Yeah. Yeah.
Repetition.
So to answer that, I mean, like Hakeem said, it's like that person might need to go into the forest. Some people are like, let's do psychedelics and stuff like that. But I'm like, go into the forest for like a week by yourself, no cell phone.
The darkness.
Go where you are.
Go into the darkness.
Yeah, go into the freaking shadow. And I guarantee you're going to be a different person because you are going to have to face yourself. There's nobody else there. You are literally going to have to face yourself and get over it.
You're going to be crying for your mama when you hear them wolves howling too.
Yep.
One thing I love.
You will have to figure it out. You'll have to figure it out.
Self-healing though by yourself, you're not worried about what maybe your therapist or whoever you're talking to is going to think of you. So you don't have any limitations on yourself. So you actually let it all out that way, where maybe if you're around someone else or talking it out, you might hold some stuff in because you're afraid of the judgment from someone else, right? So being by yourself, that's what I do a lot, is sit by myself in the dark and people are like, where are your emotions? I'm like, they're in my room at 2 p.m. with my notebook.
Yeah, I found a really beautiful balance, Alyssa, with that. Is so often when people are like, is everything good? I'm like, I just need me. I just need me and God, and I need the forest for like an hour. half an hour. But I will say sometimes when there's wounds relationally, it can be healed relationally. So say you have like a wound, you don't feel safe around men because of whatever happened in your past. And then this man comes in who is a masculine man, which is a provider, is a protector, but also can hold a woman, right? And the woman is being a woman as well. There can be some really beautiful healing in that, because they can reflect things back to you that you may not see. And then they can create that safety. Not that it's all like them doing the work. You've got to also be open to receiving that. But I do believe there is room for both. And sometimes we don't see, like my girlfriend, if the one that passed away, if she didn't tell me like when she was going through her cancer journey, I was a fixer. I was just like, how can I help you? How can I fix this? And she had to say, I was in my mid-20s. She's like, back off. But she said, I love you, but you need to back off. I need to be on my own. You cannot fix this. I was mad at her. I was upset with her. Right? She said, like, you need to back off in the most loving way. But because I knew about the work that she had done, and I knew, I'm like, that is a human I want to be around, because she's an example of where I want to go. I'm like, my ears are open. And I'm going, she loves me enough to share that information with me. Amazing. And so that helped happen relationally. And then I went inward and did the deep work.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's both too, because I for sure had a lot of healing and a lot of revelations through talking to people and through having communication with other people to show me where my ego was hiding things that my memory wouldn't come up or my body wouldn't let it come up. So I'm like, okay, you need both though, for sure. And I think get back to your point about it takes different time for everybody. So I mean, some people it could take a couple months if you've been going through things for years and years, or you had like an entire childhood up until your 20s of going through this stuff. It's going to take a little bit more time than just like get over it and get after it in a week. Could take a couple weeks. Couple months.
Especially if your grandparents were slaves or something. That shit might take even longer.
Exactly,
so it doesn't matter. But the longer you want to blame all that shit, the more longer it takes. So if you want to blame the goddamn time and generation, all that shit, well, guess it's gonna take more times and generations for you to get over it. And that's and the relational part is important, because a lot of, especially women nowadays, are seeking a man to take care of them completely, right? And like the women under me, I'm saying, like the millennial, for 20-year-olds and shit, I think we got the best generation, 30, 40s. I think it's the best one, but I'm sure everybody thinks that. But when you have gone through like, oh, my dad wasn't shit, my baby dad wasn't shit, this man ain't shit, then you meet a man, you're going to turn him into ain't shit, because he's going to do anything he does, you're going to say, oh, that ain't shit, I ain't no way. I remember when my man held the door open for me, he cheated on me after that. Damn. Well, now what? Now you can't even get no damn love.
I was teaching a workshop, right? And you know what? I go right into people's souls. Like I can just see the freaking truth, right? And this woman was like, I really want a man, but I fucking hate men. Like I hate them. She was married.
Damn it.
It's like, well,
she was married.
And she was married too. And she's like, but like, she was, oh, sorry. She said, I really want my man to be a man, but I fucking hate men. I'm like, well, what do you want? And I called her on that. I'm like, there's a lot of healing there that's available. A lot of healing, because if you want a man in your life, heal that wound. What I started to say, I've had past like relationships that didn't treat me well, but I take responsibility. I don't go, it's their fault. I stayed. I chose to stay. So it's like, what in me chose to stay in that? Like, forget it. But the person's gone. Like, as you said, Akeem, it's like, they're gone. Right. So it's like, what can I actually do so I don't repeat that pattern? And I can bring in the person that is for me. Right. Yeah.
Yep. All my exes fucked my friends after we broke up. So there's that. But how do you change that? Stop being a dickhead when you're with them, and they won't want revenge. Perfect. Full accountable. Guess what? The next one's going to be great. Can't wait. I've been single 4 years, y'all. I've been on this transformational journey since COVID, and it's hard now. Have you found that? It's hard to align with somebody now? I mean, when you're in the middle of your journey and you're so tapped into that seeking God, truth, authenticity, growth, get over it, get after it, and you still have space and you hold space and time for solitude and flow and non-masculine and all this balance. And then how do you add somebody in there when you have such a freaking humongous dream that you're dreaming of and they're not in that vision? I can't even see that dream with you in it. So you're going to have to wait or show patience and traits or something, because your boy is turned on by purpose. Okay.
So, but that with the right person, that's a beautiful thing.
Heard that.
So it's like, So it's true. Yeah. And it's like having the vision of, okay, if you want this woman in your life, what does that feel like? What does that look like? What are some of their values? And you'll know. And it's part of the thing is saying, nope, nope. We talk about discipline. Well, then if you want this woman and you see this other woman come in, this version, I'll say, of this woman, part of it is actually disciplining the no. It's like, it's exercising, like, my flesh is saying, ooh, I want this. But deep down, my core is saying, this is not in alignment. And so the more we practice the no, it's like showing God, it's like, no, I'm for real. Like, this is what I want to bring in. Somebody who supports your mission, somebody who sees you as like, yeah, he's on fire. And understanding too, though, if you want that woman, having that balance too of, yeah, you're on your mission, but she's there too. Right. So having that balance of loving up on
right on. You have to see me on vacation because that's about all I got. But is there a relation between heart coherence and freaking arousal? Because mine's different. My brain, I won't even get hard until you turn my mind on. It's not, a lot of men are like, sexy body, boner. I'm like, what does she do in the morning? What do you eat? Like, what's your water intake like? Before I even feel like it, I'm like, and that's a big thing. I don't play video games. I don't watch porn. I don't freaking be on dating apps. I don't freaking do all that. So my body's not triggered to like, oh, quick. It's always, I'm more intellectual sapio, right? Sexual is what they call it or whatever. But that has to do with heart coherence, right? Heart, brain.
You've done the work and you are in alignment with your values. And so you are turned on by intellect. Why? Because you love learning. It's hot. It's sexy, right? Right? What does that say? What are you pointing to?
Grow your mind.
Right? So I get you. Like, I get you. Like, growing up, it's like, oh, I just wanted to learn more. And then I realized, yeah, that's part of my values. So that is a turn on to me. It's not necessarily looks, because looks come and go. And there is, I'll tell you, heart coherence, when you start practicing it and you start practicing going in your body there, and then you get the intellectual person plus the heart coherence, it's like, yeah, you feel a soul level connection. Because now it's my values are there, but I'm actually feeling this in my body in a whole different way because your systems are working better, hormones are working better, organs are working better, everything comes into sync and into balance. And it's like, I don't know what you're past or anything like that, but it's like, it's in sync. It's in sync. Okay. And when a woman or a man can kind of get there on their own, and I'm not talking about like orgasms or anything like that, but I'm just talking about like actually love yourself fully. It is pretty freaking cool when you start attracting, because like the right people start showing up. You think this podcast is by accident? No, I've already learned from this podcast. I'm like, sweet win for the day. Thank you guys.
Yeah, it always gets us like zooted up too. We're like,
yeah. But this is why I love doing what I do, because I feel that people are kind of like coasting and they don't even know, because I was that, right? I was not like in my heart coherence. And it's just like the constantly doing, not mission-based doing, just doing to please, prove, fix, all of those pieces. I did it so often. But when you like start to let go of those layers and you literally come into your mission, your soul mission, and you get into that heart space, the expansion that happens. And when I see people kind of coasting, I'm like, they have no idea. They're not even connected to themselves. This is why I teach reconnect. It's not about like becoming something new. It's really about remembering. It's remembering who you actually are before all that shit piled up on you, right? Like we are, to me, it's like we are a child of God. Like imagine that. That is pretty pure. That's pretty freaking pure. So we can be in the mission, the doing, the actions in a beautiful way, but we can also bring this sovereignty in where it's like, we're so fucking good on our own too. Then you bring in a partner and it's a bonus.
That's the key.
That's the
Feeling
growth.
good on your
Love
own.
this convo.
Okay.
I'm about to go to the gut zoom, but we got to get back on for sure. We didn't get to know any of these other questions, so
I know we
let's
got
book
so
one
many
for like 2 months out. Let's lock back in.
Why don't you tell us really quick, just so it's on the podcast, how do people reach you? Where can they find you? What's your handle on Instagram? All that good stuff, and then we'll hop on.
Yeah, my handle is not Kasia. It's I I knew Hakeem and I would get along when we're both like singing each other's names. Like Hakeem, Kasia. So Instagram, Kasia_Sitarz. And then on my website, I'm putting a bunch of new programs. I want to do a virtual program. I've done it before. It's called Reconnect. And what I love about that is it's a bit of this coaching. So it's a bit of the masculine, the coaching aspect, but then there's neuroplasticity involved where we land in these meditations and heart coherence. So we can take the tools and actually create the change, the lasting effects where our brain starts to shift and create new neural pathways in our brain. So I do that. That's virtual. Retreats are fantastic. You guys hosted a retreat. I find it's
have it coming up.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'll share that. It's just such a place to land and be intimate. And we talk about doing that deep work. Amazing right there. I love bringing a lot of fun and play into life too. So, there's in my retreats, there's a lot of fun, laughter, play. And then, like if you're in Ontario, then come in one-on-one, right? Yeah.
I'll be there. Choose Yourself Tour 2026.
Let's do it. I think we would be on fire on stage, like in a really beautiful way. And I think we would call each other on each other's bullshit too, which is wonderful. And that's the people I want in my life.
Yep.
Love
Let's
it.
get it.
Thank you so much for this.
Appreciate
This
y'all.
was amazing. Talk to you later. Bye.
Choose yourself.